Welcome to The Short Score, your weekly update of roping news from around the industry, where you can find the latest on the sport from the pro rodeo ranks to the jackpot world. I'm Taylor Vollen, and I'm your host. Welcome back to The Short Score, everyone. It's your host, Taylor Vollen. We are right in the heat of Cowboy Christmas, tracking rodeos left and right so that we can bring you the top money earners of this year's Cowboy Christmas and keep you updated from the road. But for today's episode of The Short Score, I'm keeping it in the same vein of Richest ropers, just kind of taking a break from the fourth run happenings and bringing you a quick little episode with the richest roper in the American Rope Horse Futurity Association, Joseph Harrison. Joseph needs no introduction and is undoubtedly a force in the futurity game, now having $476,934.27 in American Rope Horse Futurity Association earnings. Chelsea Schaefer caught up with Joseph on what it means to be the all-time leading roper in the American Rope Horse Futurity Association for this quick little episode of The Short Score.
I wanted to talk to you about being the all-time leading rope horse futurity guy these days. What does that?
Right on.
What does that mean to you? Does it mean anything to have the most money won in the futurity industry?
Well, I mean, yeah. It's as of now, it's an accomplishment. Anything could change at any time. I mean, those other guys, they all do a good job. They've got good horses, and they win too. So, I mean, they could, in essence, as good as like that deal in Utah is, they could pass me there.
Yeah.
But I will say that at this point, yeah, it does. It's pretty cool to know that as of now that I've won more money than anybody has at that particular thing because I love it so much, I guess. It's my favorite thing to do. So the fact that I'm in the lead for money, that is cool for me, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Do you, what do you think the rope horse industry needs next? Like, what do you think the next step is? Or are with futurities like the one coming up in Utah and the Regatta Buckle, as good as it pays? Like, do you think everything is going in the right direction as far as what your owners want and what's going to keep it growing?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a bunch of stuff that's going in the right direction. We keep getting good numbers at the events and stuff like that. It's an enticing breeding programs and incentives and all that kind of stuff. Man, what I don't want to happen is I don't want for production to get lazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want, because that deal is so good right now, and everybody, I say everybody, I mean all the guys, they're gathering up horses and customers, and you know, to have enough horses to go to each function and all that stuff. And I just and we'll help. I don't mind, you know, breaking in steers and stuff like that to try to help out. And I realize I can't do it all. There's other guys that's got to help, and I know that they will. I mean, the guys in the areas where those you know producers live and the steers and stuff like that, they would help and break in steers and that stuff. But I think the steer deal for the next little while is going to be important. Everybody says that, man. I say everybody. You get to the deal and they run. You know, like, man, these things haul butt. Well, if they all haul butt, then everybody's got to do it. If they all haul butt and they all are a little fresher, or even if they're not fresher, maybe they just run. Or if they lope. If they all lope, but they lead and they're easy to handle and stuff like that, and they're not old and roped out, that's the part that I think that we're going to have to look at in the near future, is trying to keep as good a set of steers at each of those deals as we can, just because it has grown to what it is now. Mm-hmm. I mean, before, you know, let's say 10 years ago, was one of the first ones that I ever went to at those deals. And Jay used to have Like he had one at Lincoln every year, and for the longest time, he turned it into a limited or a intermediate kind of a deal. Like the open guys couldn't show at it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was only like one other one, and he would have it at like you had the one at the Battle in the Saddle that used to be in Oklahoma City for a couple of years there, and then he'd have another one out there in Arizona, and I never would even go to the one in Arizona because we were always either rodeoing or there's enough shows back over here by us that we wouldn't go out there to it.
Mm-hmm.
And but it had a little futurity at it. Well, they were small, you know what I mean? They didn't get as many horses at them, and the fees wasn't as much and that kind of stuff. So really, when you won something at it, like I shouldn't say back in the day, but honestly 10, 12 years ago, I can remember going to the one at Lincoln when it was used to be real small, and it was just 3 runs. Regular horse show. During the regular horse show, the first day was your first round runs, and you got your scores from it. And then the second day was your second run. And then after the second day or whatever, they had a little short round. So it was basically just a 3-header. And I can remember winning maybe first done 1 round and second 1 round and come back and win the average on a mare. Her name was Namgus D14. She's the very first one that I ever won first at at any of that futurity stuff. And I think grand total, like I won first in the first round and second in the second round and come back and won the average, and the short round didn't pay. But the average did, and I think grand total I won like $3,200 or something. Not dogging it. It was shoot for what it was then. Heck, it was still way better than just regular horse showing. You know, I mean, Jay was trying to do something to make it pay a little something, make it more worthwhile. And, but it's grown so much from that now that I think that it needs, the more it grows and the more money's involved and the more customers and sponsors and all that stuff, the better that it needs to be. It needs to be ran professionally, and we need to rope as good a set of steers as a guy can get his hands on, in my opinion, because at most of those things you've got somewhere between $750 and $1,500 fees. Like that one in Utah is $2,000 fees. So yeah, for that kind of money, it needs to be. I want to run a nice steer. You know what I mean? I don't want to steer necessarily to take me out at a function like that. And I realize that we have to look at luck of the draw. I mean, that's just part of it. Has been that way for years and years. But at the same time, luck of the draw needs to go away a little bit when we start talking about that kind of money.
Mm-hmm. Do you, does that mean, like, I know there have been futurities lately where you guys have roped muleys. There have been futurities where there've been natives, M brands. I mean, do you think it's M brands or nothing? Like it's, or just... No,
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I'm fine with whatever kind of steers. I tell you what I don't like. I don't think that in any organization, whether it be futurity and jackpotting, at a rodeo, any of it, I don't think that you ought to be able to rope a native heifer for any more than $100 man fees. I really don't, especially not old roped out ones. Because those things are so tricky and they're so hard and they're going to be so uneven. Well, the whole concept behind that rope horse deal, the futurity stuff, is the best horse wins.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Show the horses, and the best horse wins. Well, if the best horse draws a terrible steer at 2 or 3 places in a row, and the steers take the horse out, well, in my opinion, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, I know it's not perfect. There's always going to be a little this or that. Somebody else has got a different opinion than me, I can already tell you. But
Yeah. Uh-huh.
at the same time, I think it is something that needs to be, looked at and addressed.
Yeah.
Like you said, we rode muleys
Mm-hmm.
at Zanks or whatever. Well, honestly, I was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody ran a muley.
Yeah, it was the same. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They were fresher type, stronger muleys. And I was fine with it because they were a little bit unpredictable because they're fresher muleys. And I was fine with that. But what you don't want is you don't want to pull up over there and, say Billy Jack and Dakota and Trevor and Miles and Cade and those guys, they're training good and they've got good horses to ride and they rode good. So they're hard enough to get around as it is. And then let's just use it for an example is maybe you pull up to one of them deals and they've got steers and heifers mixed in there because we've done that some this year. Like I don't know how come we've been doing that, but we have. And they've got steers and heifers mixed in, and 2 or 3 of them guys, they run them a nice little native steer that does just what you want him to, and then you get a chance to run you an older type native heifer on a 4, 5, or 6-year-old horse that she'd be trouble to get around on my 12-year-old rodeo horse that I rode at the finals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's even that much tougher for a 4 or 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So that's the part, even in the stock up as best we can, I realize, like I said, it's never perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
But evening it up as much as you can and not just having that, I think heck, it'll be fine. That's a little bit of that's got to go away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just because of how good the money is. And like I said, it's everybody involved. Everybody involved right now, if you got your hand in it anywhere, shoot, it's making money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if the customer's got a good one, I've got several customers of my own that they're not only they're making money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's the object goal is if everybody makes money, everybody's happy. Shoot, life goes on.
Yeah, we can keep doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So all it does is, entice and encourage them to, okay, well, this next year we need another one, man. We need the best 3-year-old we can find. That way next year we might have the best 4-year-old. That's awesome. That's good for the game. It's good for us. It's good for the fraternity, the committees, and the producers and stuff. So, but what you don't want is to leave a bad taste in their mouth over, in essence, we're not talking about it being a $900 rope and steer. We're talking about it being a, $18 to $22 or $5 gate,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they're getting a run on them steers.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't mess all that up over $25.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
That way,
Mm-hmm.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely.